guys, it's Nicole and welcome back to my channel. It is time for a bloom update for the month of September, and I can't believe summer has already passed by. I don't have too many orchids in bloom this month, but I'm going to show you what I've got going on. I'm going to keep this video a little bit shorter, but I've seen your comments and I know that you guys want to see updates on some specific orchids. So if there's anything in particular that you guys want to see, let me know down in the comments below and I will make an update video within the next 2 weeks. Otherwise, in a couple of days, I'm headed to the Tamiami Orchid Festival, so I'm super excited about that. Let me know down below if you'll be there and maybe we can meet up. Anyway, guys, let me show you what I've got in bloom for the month of September. Up first, we've got the Dyakia Hendersoniana Hawaii. This is a species orchid in the Vanda family, and this is also the smallest orchid that I own in my collection. I was very happy to see it bloom for the first time because I had it in spike last year and it never actually bloomed for me. Now I keep this orchid along with my Cattleya orchid, so it's getting a ton of light. However, I've noticed that the leaves are a little bit too light. So I think I'm gonna pull this back from the light. As you could see some of the dieback on one of the leaves. I also noticed that some of the leaves have grown in a little bit smaller than previous leaves. So I'm going to be repotting this orchid. It came mounted. I might do that, or I may repot back into a smaller pot, but I'm going to pull it away from so much light so I can avoid those leaf issues. No fragrance on this one, but it's really cute. Up next, we've got the Bessho Bessho, which is a cross between the Cattleya tenebrosa crossed with the Brassavola nodosa. So this one's got a beautiful, very large flower with a gorgeous pink lip. The petals are kind of like a bronzy type brown tan color. It's very, very pretty. This one actually tried to spike for me a couple of months ago and it never came through. The sheath sort of dried up with the bud, but this is the first time I'm actually seeing this bloom. There's not really much fragrance that I can detect on it. Sometimes during the day I do take a little whiff and it smells a bit like sunscreen, so very similar to my key lime stars. But given that this is a first-time bloomer, I think I'll have a better idea once it blooms again. It's got a new growth coming in, so I'm sure it'll be back in bloom once again. And this has been going for 3 weeks. Alrighty, guys. Up next is the Ctsm Dentigrianum crossed with the Ctsm Memorial Raul Mortera Penedo. And this is an unregistered cross from Sunset Valley Orchids. This orchid lasted in bloom about a week. It smelled like honey. I really like the lip on this one. This reminds me a lot of the Ctsm Rust Wood, except it's a bit fuller. So I think I'm more partial to this one and a little bit less than my Rust Wood, since they are they look alike. But this one's got a lot of spotting on the petals, and that yellow lip is absolutely beautiful. It's butter colored. The smell, it took about a day for it to show up, and it smelled a little bit like honey, very similar to Rust Wood. It was very pleasant, not very strong, but this is a very nice looking mini Ctsm, a very, very pretty one. But I'm definitely going to keep this one. All right, up next, we've got another cross from SVO. This one's Ctsm Chuck Taylor Way Good, crossed with Ctsm Susan Fuchs Burgundy Chips. And guys, this one is my absolute favorite of all of the Ctsms I've bloomed so far. So this orchid has a gorgeous, gorgeous yellow lip. It sort of looks like, it's like bumblebee colored. It's very large. Compared to the blooms you just saw on the other Ctsm, this one is more than double the size. So it's about 4 to 5 inches big across in length. So it's much larger. The fragrance is extremely pleasant. It took about a day for me to detect it, but it smelled like mint, like spearmint actually. So it was very nice. It sort of filled my entire living room with fragrance. Now, this was classified as a mini Ctsm, but it's actually growing much larger than I expected, which I'm finding for a lot of them, but With blooms like that, I can't be mad. I'm definitely keeping this one. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous cross. All right, up next we've got Dendrobium Buttercup. So you guys remembered that this is the orchid that I first put into semi-hydroponics. The leaves don't look so great, but this is the third time that this blooms for me. This is blooming from a leafless cane, actually. And I really like the bloom. It's just really cute. It's got a pink and sort of like light green type petals. And then the lip is very veiny, very, very light and dark pink. No fragrance at all, but as you can see with the leaves here, I've always had some issues with this orchid, and everyone that I know that has this orchid has the same issue with spotting. And I'll say that I kept it very, very hot this summer, and the new growths still spotted. So I think this is an issue specific to this orchid, but as long as it continues to bloom, I'll continue to hold it in my collection. Roots are looking good. If you want to see the root system more closely, I can add it to my update video that I will make in the next 2 weeks. Just let me know down in the comments below. Alrighty guys, up last we've got the Phalaenopsis Equestris Coerulea. So this is a gorgeous species phal orchid. The blooms are very pretty. They're very elegant, very dainty. This is not a fragrant orchid. However, it's got very small, very pleasant blooms. The actual orchid itself is small, so if you have space constraints, this is an orchid that I recommend since it doesn't get too large. But if you can see the lip, it's just a beautiful bluish purple. It's just absolutely gorgeous. It's doing well in semi-hydroponics. However, I've noticed some of the roots are growing outside of the pot, so I may have to repot it soon just because it's going to be winter and some of those roots start drying off when my humidity gets down. But this is a very pretty one, and this is the first time it blooms for me, and I really, really like it. I think I'm going to buy more phal species at the orchid show. So not too many orchids in bloom for the month. However, I've got a lot of updates to show you. So I'll get that video up for you guys, as I mentioned, in the next 2 weeks. Let me know down in the comments what you'd like to see. I do have some Cattleyas in sheath and in bud. I do have an update on my Mortera Millennium Magic Witchcraft. And I've got a couple of other orchids that are starting to perk up and show some buds for the very first time. So I'm happy to share that with you guys in the next video. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more orchid content. Thanks everyone. Bye.